Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1 and 2. We're coming to you live from the McPherson Academic and Athletic Complex here on the beautiful campus of the University of Mount Union. You are tuned in to Mount Union Purple Raider women's basketball here on the live stream as we're getting ready for a big OAC matchup here this afternoon featuring your Mount Union Purple Raiders and the Otterbein Cardinals. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Attar, flying solo here today on the live stream in what proves to be a very good and very pivotal matchup here in the OAC this season between your Mount Union Purple Raiders and the Otterbein Cardinals. Coming into today's matchup, both teams are 2-3 in OAC play and tied for 6th right now in the OAC standings. Of course, the top 6 teams make the OAC tournament at the end of the season. So starting to get into the nitty-gritty of things with the OAC play, this will prove to be a big matchup here this afternoon. First, let's take a look at the Otterbein Cardinals. Like I mentioned, 2-3 in OAC play, 4-8 overall. Their most recent matchup was a loss to Ohio Northern, 67-54, where in that matchup, the freshman Kyla Irby led the way with 16 points off the bench, while Katie McCrary added 11 points and 3 steals, and Serenity Castle added 10 points as Otterbein was out-rebounded 43-32 by the Polar Bears, and they were outscored 24-12 in the fourth quarter. So just enter that final frame against the top team in the OAC, trailing just by a point, but then Ohio Northern was able to pull away with a 13-point victory. Katie McCrary leads all scorers this year for Otterbein with 10.3 points per game. Maisie King is averaging 8.6 points per game and a team-high 6.3 rebounds per game, as Otterbein averages around 57 points per contest, giving up about 63. So a very defensive-oriented team this year are the Otterbein Cardinals. Now for your Mount Union Purple Raiders, they come into today's matchup also 2-3 in OAC play, 5-7 overall. The Raiders are trying to break a 5-game losing streak they're coming into today's matchup against, as in the most recent matchup, they traveled up to Berea, Ohio, where they fell to the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets 67-56. In that game, Addie Mucci led the way with 14 points off the bench, while the freshman Elizabeth Mason had 12 points and 11 rebounds. The Mount Union Purple Raiders got off to a very slow start in the first half, trailed 25-14 at halftime, and shot just 4 for 29 from the field and 1 for 12 from deep in the first half. So they are going to look for a much faster start here this afternoon if they want to break that losing streak. Elizabeth Mason leads all scorers for Mount Union at 9.7 points per contest, as well as in the rebounds department at 7.3, while fellow freshman Reese Triplett averaging about 9.5 points per game. Mount Union, they're scoring about 65 points per game and giving up 65 points per game, so a very even scoring spread this season. The Purple Raiders are going to look to snap that 5-game losing streak here today as they finally arrive back at home here at the MAC, their first home game of the 2024 calendar year. We'll take a short break here on the live stream for the national anthems, but we'll be back with starting lineups here between Otterbein and Mount Union momentarily. And we are back here at the MAC getting you ready for today's action featuring the Otterbein Cardinals and your Mount Union Purple Raiders. First, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Cardinals, they are led by head coach Diana Knowles in her 4th season at the helm at Otterbein. And their starting lineup consists of the junior forward from Oviedo, Florida and Oviedo High School, number 4, Maisie King. The senior guard from Northmont High School in Englewood, Ohio, number 10, Katie McCrary. The senior guard from Eden High School in Eden, Ohio, number 11, Claire Radabaugh. The senior guard from Springboro High School in Springboro, Ohio, number 12, Olivia Majors. And lastly, rounding out the starting 5 is the sophomore forward from Loveland High School in Loveland, Ohio, number 25, Ella Nagel. And now taking a look at the starting lineup for your Mount Union Purple Raiders. They, as always, are led by head coach Susie Vanette. Their starting lineup consists of the junior guard from Akron Buckle High School in Akron, Ohio, number 0, Day-Day Nash. The freshman guard from Tuscarora Central Catholic High School in New Philadelphia, Ohio, number 3, Reese Triplett. The sophomore forward from Harrison Central High School in Cadiz, Ohio, number 12, Michaela Dunkel. The junior guard from Lake Catholic High School in Mentor, Ohio, number 25, Allie Hudick. And lastly, rounding out the starting 5 is the freshman forward from right here in Alliance, Ohio, Marlington High School, number 33, Elizabeth Mason. The Purple Raiders will look to get back to their winning ways. They started out the season 5-2, now sitting at 5-7 with those 5 consecutive losses. Big matchup here today, like how I mentioned at the top. Mount Union currently sitting at 2-3 in OAC play, as is Otterbein. They're tied for the 6th and final spot in the OAC tournament, as Bowman Wallace and Ohio Northern tied at the top of the OAC at 5-0 in OAC play. Marietta right behind them at 4-1. And then Capital and John Carroll tied for 4th at 3-2. And then, of course, Mount Union and Otterbein follow suit at 2-3. So big matchup here today, as both teams are going to try to get back on their winning ways. The opening tip is won here by Mount Union, and we are underway at the MAC. Reese Triplett with it. She gives it over in the corner to Allie Hudick. Hudick now up top, gives it up to Elizabeth Mason. Mason looks to drive, kicks it out to Day-Day Nash, who steps into a 3, and the bank is open. Day-Day Nash from downtown uses the backboard. It's 3-0 Mount Union on the Day-Day 3. At the other end, Radabaugh drives here for the Cardinals, can't get it to go. Rebound to Dunkel. Day-Day pushes the pace here, now gives it over to Hudick. Hudick will give it right back to Nash, now swings it out up top to Reese Triplett. Triplett swings it up top to Hudick, now back over Elizabeth Mason. Thought about the 3, now puts it on the floor, gives it over to Dunkel. Dunkel right back to Day-Day. 10 on the shot clock, gives it right back to Michaela on the post, and Dunkel goes up with the hook shot. Can't get it to go, follows her own miss though, saves the possession. Raiders with 4 seconds to shoot, and Elizabeth Mason takes it to the paint and gets it to go. 5-0 Mount Union. Credit Dunkel's hustle on that one, as that ball is tipped out of bounds. The Raiders coming out with a lot of intensity here. Remain Otterbein basketball. But Mount Union with the first 5 points here, just over a minute into this first quarter. And McCrary will bring it up here now for the Cardinals. McCrary draws the double team, now swings it over to Nagel. Nagel gives it over cross court, now back over to a wide open Katie McCrary for 3. That one's short. Rebound Elizabeth Mason. Mason brings it up herself, now gives it over to Day-Day Nash. Down low inside Dunkel in the post. Dunkel goes to work, has her shot blocked though by King. It's Otterbein basketball. McCrary now gives it up in transition. That shot is going to be missed right there by Nagel. A rebound to Mason once again. Elizabeth gives it over now to Day-Day Nash. Nash gives it over to Reese Triplett here. Triplett right back over to Hudick. And Hudick will look to drive. Now kicks it back over to Day-Day. She pump fakes, drives. Tried to kick it out to Hudick, but just a miscommunication right there. Out of bounds it goes. Will be Otterbein basketball. An early substitution here for the Purple Raiders is number 15, Grace Wolf, will check in. Michaela Dunkel will take a seat. The Raiders continuing some pressure here in the backcourt. It's Katie McCrary now with it. McCrary swings it up top to Radabaugh. Radabaugh now thought about the 3 instead, gives it over to Ella Nagel. Nagel looking to go to work in the post, had it blocked though by Hudick. Saves the possession, however, is now Majors. Great ball movement here. Radabaugh feeds it down low inside to Nagel. Off her fingertips. Let's say that was last off Grace Wolf. And so it will remain Otterbein basketball. Shot clock winding down here to 7 seconds on the clock. And another substitution here for Mount Union. Haley Haywood into the ball game. Reese Triplett takes a seat. McCray will inbound it to Majors, and off the inbound, Majors' shot's no good. Out of bounds once again, the last say off the Purple Raiders. So it will be Otterbein basketball here once again. Now off the inbound, Radaball swings it up top. Now over to Maisie King. King puts it on the floor, now swings over to McCray. Right back to King. Now over to Majors. Majors trying to get the shot up here. Fires up the contested three and gets it to go. Cardinals on the board now. It's 5-3 on the Olivia Majors three-point shot. Day now with it. Swings it up top to Hudick. Now over to Elizabeth Mason. Around they go. Grace Wolf will put it on the floor here. Looks to drive. Goes up with the shot. Can't get it to go. A rebound to the Cardinals. Otterbein with some numbers here now as Radaball looks to drive into the paint. Goes up with the shot. And we are all tied up at 5 on the layup right there by Claire Radaball. So Day Nash trying to give the Raiders back the lead here. Scored the first 5 points in today's matchup. Now Haywood swings it up top here. Allie Hudick. Hudick thought about the three, now steps into one and gets it to go. Allie Hudick from downtown. The Raiders' second three of this first quarter. It's 8-5 Mount Union. Over in the corner now, Radaball will look to drive. Draws the double. Over to McCray. McCray tries to get it to Nagel, but it's deflected into the hands of Radaball. Her shot from the baseline's no good. Fight for the rebound. It's a jump ball. Possession now in favor of the Cardinals. Raiders with some substitutions here. Once again, Lily Sweeney, Sierra Schlosser, and Addie Mucci will check into the first time here this afternoon. Addie Mucci has scored in double figures her last 3 contests for the Purple Raiders. Kyla Irby and Serenity Castle check in here for the Cardinals. Right on cue. Kyla Irby fires the shot up right out of the inbound, and the freshman gets on the board here. It's 8-7. Irby picks up right where she left off against Ohio Northern, where she led all scorers for Otterbein with 16 points. Sweeney now swings it over here to Haley Haywood. Up top, Schlosser. Schlosser now swings it around here. Lily Sweeney, she gives it up to Addie Mucci. Mucci now. The shot clock winding down to 5, gives over to Haywood. Haywood, nice extra pass to Schlosser, who gets to the rim for 2. Great pass from Haywood, great finish from Schlosser. This is 10-7 Mount Union. Raiders once again coming out with some pressure in the backcourt and nearly got away with the trap. We got a whistle, and the first foul of the game is going to be called on Haley Haywood. A reach in here, her first, team's first. Substitutions here for Mount Union. Michaela Dunkel checking back in. And Tess Conroy, the freshman, checking in for the first time this afternoon for Mount Union. So it'll be Haywood and Wolf taking a seat. McCrary now with it. Defended here closely by Addison Mucci. McCrary now looks to drive. Goes up with a well-contested layup. Nice defense there by Dunkel. Forced the miss, and Conroy will bring it up for Mount Union. Conroy bringing it coast to coast. Now gives it over to Dunkel. Dunkel pump fakes, drives baseline, goes up with the layup. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound Maisie King. We've got a whistle, and it's going to be a double dribble going on King. So a turnover, and it will be Mount Union basketball. So 10-7 Mount Union, 5 minutes into this one. So Addison Mucci will inbound it here. Up top to Dunkel, now right back to Mucci. Mucci defended here by Katie McCrary. So going to get the offense set here. Swings it over to Dunkel. Dunkel now over in the corner. Lily Sweeney with 14 on the shot clock. She gives it back over to Mucci. Mucci thought about the 3. Now kicks over to Sweeney for the 3. That one's no good. Rebound Maisie King. So the Cardinals can tie it here with a 3 as Irby looks to drive. Gets to the rim for 2. That one's too strong, no good. Rebound Michaela Dunkel. So Schlosser will bring it up now. Gives it over to Mucci. Mucci swings it around to Sierra here once again. Schlosser gives it right back to Mucci. She steps into the three. That's too strong, no good. Long rebound to Katie McCrary. A 1-on-2 break here for McCrary and the Cardinals. Wisely pulls it out, now gives it over to Maisie King. King with the extra pass over to an open Serenity Castle. Great ball movement there by the Cardinals. Serenity Castle ties things up at 10 on the three. Dunkel gives it up high post here to Schlosser. Great pass right back to Dunkel. Gets to the rim, but a whistle. Layup's no good. They're going to say a jump ball, possession arrow in favor of Mount Union, so the basket will not count, but Mount Union will retain the possession. Elizabeth Mason and Allie Hudick back into the ball game now for Mount Union. Nicole Terry checking in for the first time here today for the Cardinals, and Claire Radabal back into the contest. Conroy now nearly has it taken away. Instead gives it over to Mucci. Mucci now with 10 on the shot clock. Gives it over to Mason. Mason in the high post. Tries to get it out to Dunkel. The Raiders need to get a shot up here with 4 on the shot clock. Hudick now steps back for a 3. That one's off the front of the rim. No good. Long rebound to the Cardinals. They have some numbers as McCrary ahead of the pack. Gets to the rim for 2, and the Cardinals take a 12-10 advantage. So it will be Addie Mucci here now with it. Looking to cross over Katie McCrary. Gives it up to a backdoor cutter and Tess Conroy. A great cut and a great pass. Conroy ties things up at 12. Beautiful basketball there. Conroy at the other end nearly comes up with the steal. Jump ball possession out in favor of Otterbein, but great hustle from the freshman there. Raiders with some more substitutions here once again. Grace Wolf checking back in, as will Day Nash and Reese Triplett. Now here off the inbound, Cardinals are able to clear it. As Castle swings over to McCrary. McCrary's pass intended for Radabal is tipped out of bounds. Otterbein basketball here. 2:51 left to go in the first quarter. 20 seconds on the shot clock. McCrary takes a screen now from Castle. Gives it right over to her. Now over to Radabal. Radabal looks to drive into the paint. Swings it back out to Castle. She steps into a contested 3. That one's short. Out of bounds it goes, and it will be Mount Union basketball. Olivia Majors checking back in here now for Otterbein. Day brings it up the floor here now. Gives it over high post to Elizabeth Mason. Hands it right back off to Day. Now Nash will swing it over to Triplett. Triplett right back to Nash once again. She steps into a 3. That's off the front of the rim, no good. And a rebound here to the Cardinals. Irby now with it. Swings it over to Majors. Majors looks to drive. Now kicks it over to Radabal. Radabal puts it on the floor, picks up her dribble. Around the perimeter they go here. Right back to Majors. She pump fakes. A great pump fake at that. Now gives over to Radabal for the 3. That's short. Rebound though to the Cardinals. Putback is no good by Nicole Terry, but she gets it the second time right there as Nicole Terry on the putback makes it 14-12 in favor of Otterbein. At the other end, Day Nash gets to the rim, can't quite finish. Elizabeth Mason's putback no good. Some nice defense there by the Cardinals. And Otterbein trying to extend their lead here now. Castle puts it on the floor, looks to drive. A nice move here, gets to the paint, can't quite get it to go. Rebound Elizabeth Mason. So Hudick now with it. She'll be defended here by Radabal. Takes a screen from Mason. Picks up that dribble with 1:10 left to go here in the first quarter. Now we'll swing over to Day Nash. Nash with 10 on the shot clock. Gives it right back to Allie Hudick. Hudick right back to Nash. Nash now drives into the paint, goes up with the scoop shot and gets it to go. Day Nash, she's got 5 points now. Ties things up at 14. 50 seconds left to go here in the first. Castle gives it up here to Terry. Around the perimeter they go to Irby. She steps into the open 3. Nothing but net. Kyla Irby from downtown gives the Cardinals a 17-14 edge. About a 7-second difference here between shot clock and game clock for Mount Union. It's Triplett now, looking to drive, but a whistle, and we've got an illegal screen foul going to be called here on Elizabeth Mason. So the ball will go back here to the Cardinals. Ella Nagel back in here for Otterbein. And checking in for the first time here this afternoon for Mount Union, number 21, Audrey Livesey, the sophomore. And lastly, the freshman from Canfield, Ohio, number 30, Abby McElroy. So the Cardinals can hold it here for the final shot of this first quarter. Down low inside they go now, up top. It's Olivia Majors wisely pulling it out here with 6 seconds left to go here on the game clock. Now swings it out up top to an open three, and that one's good. Nicole Terry gets it to go right before the buzzer sounds. And back-to-back threes, a quick 6-0 run to end the first quarter. Gives Otterbein the edge 20-14 in a very close first quarter for the most part there. And with that, the Purple Raiders will find themselves trailing by 6 as they head into the second quarter of play. Day-Day Nash leads Mount Union with 5 points here so far this afternoon. And for Otterbein, Kyla Irby as well as Nicole Terry both with 5 points to pace the way for the Cardinals. But Mount Union will start to get into the home stretch of games here, taking a look at their upcoming schedule. Their next matchup will be this upcoming Wednesday against their rivals, the John Carroll Blue Streaks. Of course, JCU, always known for having a well-coached and very good women's basketball squad. This year, the Blue Streaks, my apologies, are starting out 3-2 in OAC play, 8-4 overall. And then for Mount Union as well, they will face Heidelberg up in Tiffin, Ohio next Saturday, and then they will have a matchup at Marietta. So a nice stretch of games here for Mount Union. They will be well-tested here to see if they can turn things around. It was a very fast start on the season for the Purple Raiders, but now they've hit a bit of a lull, but they are going to look to stop their 5-game losing streak here this afternoon and hopefully keep it rolling. So for Mount Union, it will be Abby McElroy as well as Addison Mucci, Reese Triplett, Audrey Livesey, and Allie Hudick out on the floor for the Purple Raiders. Katie McCrary's out there as well as Ella Nagel, Olivia Majors, Claire Radabaugh, and Maisie King, the starting 5 for the Cardinals, as the Raiders will turn the ball over here. Around the perimeter they go to Radabaugh. Radabaugh tried to get down low inside. Mucci nearly came away with the steal. Now over to Radabaugh here once again. She gives it out up top to King. King now over to Majors. She drives with 10 on the shot clock. Goes up with the shot. Can't get it to go. Rebound Mucci. Mucci now with it. Gives it over to McElroy. McElroy up top to Triplett. Now around here to Addison Mucci. Mucci swings it around the perimeter to Abby McElroy. She steps into the 3. That's too strong. No good. Rebound to Otterbein. At the other end, it's McCrary feeding it down low inside as Nagel got cut off, but she gives it over to King. Maisie King can't get it to go. Ella Nagel, though, grabs the offensive board, goes up with the shot, had it blocked by Livesey. Out of bounds it goes. It will remain Otterbein basketball. Michaela Dunkel back into the game now for Mount Union. It's off the inbound here. We'll go down low inside to Nagel. Kicks it out to an open Maisie King. Her shot from the elbow is no good. A rebound to the Purple Raiders. McElroy pushes the pace now for Mount Union. She gives it out up top to Addison Mucci. Mucci swings it around here to Hudick. Hudick now over to Dunkel. Up top, Reese Triplett. Triplett will step into the 3. That's no good. Rebound goes to Katie McCrary. The Cardinals pushing the pace here now with Radabaugh. Now she swings it back over to McCrary. Over to Majors, who steps into the rhythm 3 and gets it to go. 3 straight 3-pointers for Otterbein. A 9-0 run for the Cardinals, and they take the 23-14 advantage here. But a timeout on the floor now here for the Purple Raiders. Susie Vanette will use one of her timeouts. With 8:18 left to go here in this first half. 23-14 Otterbein. Purple Raiders will look to stop the bleeding here just a little bit, as the Cardinals definitely heating up now from downtown. As Olivia Majors now has 2 3-pointers for the Cardinals. But so far, some score updates from around women's hoops in OAC play. Bowdoin Wallace on top 17-12 over Marietta, and Ohio Northern on top 20-5 right now over Muskingum. As play resumes here, Lily Sweeney checks in for Mount Union out of the timeout. Up top they go here to Dunkel, feeds it down low inside to McElroy. Nice catch by Abby, but she couldn't finish the layup. Rebound to the Cardinals, and Katie McCrary off to the races. Goes up with the shot, taken away by Addison Mucci. Heads up defensive play. McCrary returns the favor though with the steal of her own. McCrary now swings it over to Radabaugh. Down low inside Maisie King. King drew the double, now goes up with the shot, and a late whistle. Foul will go here on Michaela Dunkel. That'll be her first, team's first. And Maisie King will head to the line here for 2. Elizabeth Mason, Haley Haywood into the game now for Mount Union. Kyla Irby back in here for the Cardinals. King gets the first free throw to go. Cardinals on top by 10 now, 24-14. Second one's good as well. 2 for 2 from the line, 25-14 Otterbein. So Purple Raiders trying to get some points on the board here in the second quarter as Lily Sweeney steps into a 3. That's no good. Out of bounds it goes. Last off Sweeney, and it will be Otterbein basketball. There's an 11-0 run here for Otterbein. They've scored the first 5 points of this second quarter. Around they go here now to Irby. Irby thought about the 3. Now gives it over to King, right over to McCrary. McCrary feeds it down low inside. A nice entry pass to Ella Nagel, who gets to the rim for 2. 13 unanswered now for the Cardinals. 27-14, their largest lead of the ball game. Around here to Haley Haywood. She swings it out up top. Elizabeth Mason back over to Haley in the corner. And Haywood puts it on the floor here. Now swings it over to Mason. Over to Mucci. Mucci now with 10 seconds on the shot clock, needs to go to work. Gives it over to Mason. She pump fakes, drives baseline. A nice take by Elizabeth Mason, and she's going to be rewarded with 2 free throws upcoming here. Foul goes on Ella Nagel, her first, team's first. And the freshman from right here in Alliance, Ohio, Elizabeth Mason, heading to the line for 2. Addison Mucci will take a seat. Day-Day Nash back in here for Mount Union. And the first free throw for Mason is up and no good off the front of the rim. So the score will remain 27-14. Mason, of course, leads the team in scoring here this season as well as rebounding. Second one is good, so she splits the pair. 27-15, the first point of the second quarter here for Mount Union. So at the other end, Irby steps into the shot, gets it to go. Kyla Irby continuing a hot start off the bench with 7 points. It's 29-15. Down low inside they go, right back to Elizabeth Mason. She goes up for the shot. This time it's blocked by Nagel. And Otterbein coming the other way with it. Irby now swings it over to McCrary. McCrary gives it right back over here to Ella Nagel. Nagel now gives it over to Radabaugh. Great ball movement here as they go down low inside now to Maisie King. King going to work in the post, goes up with the shot and gets it to go. 31-15. Susie Vanette will use another timeout here. A 17-1 run dating back to the end of that first quarter, and Otterbein is outscoring Mount Union 11-1 in the first 4 minutes of this second quarter and starting to pull away. It's 31-15, so smart timeout here by Coach Vanette as she will look to get things settled down here a bit for Mount Union. So with the stoppage, we'll take a look here Got a score update from the men's basketball game that's down in Westerville, Ohio right now against the Otterbein Cardinals. The Purple Raiders on top in that matchup, 76-64. That was a 1 o'clock tip, so that game is almost finished. Just 2 minutes left to go in that matchup. Christian Parker for Mount Union has 34 points in that contest to go around with 8 rebounds, as Parker continuing a dominant season for Mount Union, as the Purple Raider men's basketball team 11-1 on the season. If they're able to hold on against Otterbein, they will improve to 12-1 on the year, going into a big matchup at John Carroll and what will likely be a top 15 matchup. The play resumes here on the women's side of things as Haley Haywood goes up for the shot. Can't get it to go. Grabbed her own miss though, and great hustle by Haley Haywood. She draws the personal on the putback, and Haywood's heading to the line now for 2. As the foul there goes on Olivia Majors, her first, team second. And Haywood to the line for 2. First free throw is up and no good. So will remain 31-15 Otterbein. Second free throw is good, so Haywood will split the pair, 31-16. Raiders continuing their press here, a 2-1-2 zone. Down low inside they go to Maisie King. Great recovery from Elizabeth Mason, forced the difficult shot. Out of bounds it goes, last off the Cardinals. A nice defensive possession there for Mount Union. Day will walk it up the floor now for Mount Union. Now swings it over here to Haywood. She takes a screen from Grace Wolf, who checked in at that last stoppage in play. And a whistle and a foul on the perimeter. Foul goes on Maisie King, her first, team's third. Now off the inbound here, it's Day with it. Day crosses over, gets into the paint. A nice take by Nash, just couldn't finish. Grabs her own miss though. Now swings it over to Mason. Mason down low inside to Grace Wolf. Wolf drives into a crowd with a whistle. Jump ball, possession arrow in favor of the Cardinals. So the Raiders still looking for their first field goal made of this second quarter, as just with the 2 points so far in the quarter, both coming from the free throw line. As Majors nearly loses the handle, now gives over to Radaball. Radaball now swings it out up top. It's a 3-point shot from Castle. That one's no good. Rebound to Mount Union. It's Elizabeth Mason now with it. She swings it over cross court to Haley Haywood. Haywood now over to Lily Sweeney, right back to Haywood in the post. Gets cut off on the baseline now. Swings it up top, Elizabeth Mason. She steps into the three, and Elizabeth Mason from the top of the key gets the three-pointer to go. 6 points now for Mason. 31-19 Otterbein. Now at the other end, down low inside to go Maisie King, and Maisie King could not get the shot to go. Nice defense there from Nash and Wolf. At the other end, it's Day with it. She gives it over now to Lily Sweeney. Right back to Nash. She steps into another three, and that one's good. Day Nash. He's got 8 points, his second three of his first half. 31-22 Otterbein. Quick little 6-0 run here for Mount Union. Irby now with it. Raiders in a 1-3-1 zone now. It's at the other end. Radaball steps into a three. That's too strong. Offensive board by Olivia Major. She goes over Serenity Castle. Her shot from the elbow is good. 33-22 Cardinals. Timeout here for Otterbein as Diana Knowles will take a timeout here with 3:26 left to go in this second quarter. 33-22 Otterbein. Cardinals have been led so far today by the freshman guard, Kyla Irby, with the 7 points off the bench. Meanwhile, for your Purple Raiders, Day Nash has a game-high 8 points. Elizabeth Mason with 6. But it took some time, but Mount Union starting to get their rhythm back that they had early on in the first quarter there, as the Purple Raiders went over 5 minutes in this second quarter without scoring a field goal. But now back-to-back threes. They've cut the deficit back down to 11. Tess Conroy will check back in now for Mount Union. As will Reese Triplett back into the ball game here too. It's Katie McCrary will defend Day Nash here now. She checks back in, as does Terry. As Hudick now swings it up top. Day, and now Nash looking to put the moves on McCrary. Lost the handle. It gets tangled up though. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of Mount Union. So heads up play there by Nash. Raiders will have 15 seconds on the shot clock here. Triplett inbounds it to Nash. She swings it over to Elizabeth Mason. Thought about the three, but we have a whistle. Offensive foul going on the Purple Raiders. It's going on Tess Conroy, her first, team second. McCrary will bring it up now for Otterbein. Takes a screen on top of the key from Nicole Terry. Now swings it over to Majors, back over to McCrary in the corner. As they move the ball around the perimeter, it's now Irby with it. Gives it up, Katie McCrary. She pump fakes, but it's a whistle and a traveling violation. Raiders force the turnover. So Mount Union's starting to get some stops here at the defensive end. Just got to turn it into offense now. Day now with it. She swings it over here to Reese Triplett. Triplett now looks to drive. Now kicks it out to Elizabeth Mason. Mason back over to Hudick. Hudick now looking to drive. Picks up her dribble, gives it over to Conroy. She pump fakes, looks to drive. Goes up with the layup, too strong. Out of bounds, let's say last off the Cardinals. That ball did not hit the rim. So the Raiders will have 8 seconds left on the shot clock. So they'll need to get a shot up here quickly off the inbound. Inbound to Elizabeth Mason. And that will do the job right there. Elizabeth Mason finds the opening in the paint. She's got 8 points now. 33-24. Raiders cut it back down to single digits once more. Irby now looks to drive. Gets a Euro step into the paint. Kyla Irby now. She's got 9 points. The Cardinals make it 35-24. Raiders quickly coming with it the other way as Conroy swings it over in the corner to Reese Triplett. Triplett now swings it up top. Elizabeth Mason. Mason will drive into a crowd. Goes up with the layup. Can't quite get it to go. Rebound to Otterbein. At the other end, Irby tries to feed it down low inside to Nagel. Mason knocked that ball out of bounds though. Will remain Otterbein basketball. Sierra Schlosser, Michaela Dunkel, and Addison Mucci checking them all back in for Mount Union. As Elizabeth Mason, Tess Conroy, Day Nash take a seat. Lily Sweeney also coming back in for Mount Union. So Allie Hudick will take a seat. And one final substitution, so a whole new 5 out on the floor for the Purple Raiders. Haley Haywood back in. Reese Triplett will head to the bench. Inbound here to Terry. Around they go to Katie McCrary now. McCrary feeds it down low inside. Ellen Nagel looking to go to work. That one's no good. Nice defense from Haywood and Dunkel there. 1:30 left to go in the first half. Raiders trying to trim it back down to single digits here as Addison Mucci gets tangled up with Katie McCrary. And they won't call the foul, but they will say it's a jump ball. The possession arrow will be in favor of the Cardinals. McCrary will take a seat as Olivia Majors back into the contest here for the Cardinals for the final 90 seconds or so of this first half. As Kyla Irby at the other end steps into a 3. That one's no good. Long rebound to Haley Haywood with a whistle, a foul away from the ball. It's going to go on the Cardinals. That one's going to go on Ella Nagel, her second, team's 4th. Serenity Castle checks back in for Nagel, so she does not pick up the 3rd foul before the end of the half. Now Addie Mucci with it. It's exactly 1 minute left to go here now in this first half. Up top they go to Michaela Dunkel. Now right back over to Haywood. Haywood steps into the mid-range. It's too strong. Fight for the rebound, and it will go to the Cardinals. Irby now with it. She gives it over to Olivia Majors. The Cardinals can go 2 for 1 here if they're quick enough on this possession. Majors looks to drive. Now swings it up top to Radabaugh. Radabaugh extended that forearm and is going to be called for the offensive foul. Nice defense from Addison Mucci as she draws the whistle. That'll be the 15th foul of the half. So Purple Raiders will have it about a 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock here. Just 34 seconds left to go in the half. Addison Mucci now swings it up top. Haley Haywood. Haywood gives it down low inside Michaela Dunkel. Dunkel looking to go to work. Goes up with the shot and gets to go. Raiders cut it back down to 9 on the Michaela Dunkel layup. At the other end, Kyla Irby dribbles into a crowd. Now gives it back over to Majors. 10 seconds left to go in the half. As Majors drives past Schlosser, gets to the rim for 2 and draws the whistle. Foul there will go on the Purple Raiders. I do believe they will get Michaela Dunkel on that one. They will indeed. Dunkel gets called for her second, team's third. Olivia Majors to the line now for 2. Majors' first free throw is short. Majors will get set now for the second free throw. That one's good. 36-26. Both teams will have some substitutions with just 6 seconds left to go in the half. Elizabeth Mason, Day Nash, Allie Hudick back in for Mount Union. Katie McCrary back in for Otterbein. Day now with it with 5 seconds, 4 seconds now. Nash needs to get a shot up here with 2 seconds. 1 second, just is able to get it off, and it's good. Day Nash from downtown. A great screen from Sierra Schlosser freed her up. And just in the nick of time, she's able to get that shot up. And Day Nash from downtown makes it 36-29. The referees are going to look it over to see if she got it up in time. It looked like from up here she was just able to get it off. But nonetheless, the Raiders with nice momentum swing at the end of that first half when the game was seeming to get away from them just a little bit. They were able to cut the deficit back into single digits. It's now just a 7-point deficit, 36-29. So the referees are indeed looking things over. So we'll stay on the air here until they get their confirmation. But it did appear from up here. Now again, we're up here at the top of the bleachers, but it did look like that Day was able to get that shot up with just a little bit under a second left. It was just able to leave her hand. We'll see, though, what the call is here on the floor. But Day Nash with a very impressive first half. 11 points total. That is counting the three-pointer, assuming that that will stand. As they are still looking at it, and they will confirm the basket. So Day Nash's three-point shot will indeed count. And they're actually going to head back to the monitor here, but it did look like the head referee just signaled over to the Otterbein assistant coach that the three would be good. But now back at the monitor here once again, so they're just going to double check and confirm. And if this three were to count, this will be a big momentum shift in Mount Union's favor. And I do believe they will say the basket will count, but they might be changing it to a 2. They are indeed. Now the Mount Union scoreboard changed the score to 128-36 in favor of Mount Union, which I'm sure that the Purple Raiders would like that, but Instead, it'll be 36-28. Still a big basket, though, from Day Nash. She finishes the first half with a game-high 10 points. Elizabeth Mason right behind her for Mount Union with 8 points. Meanwhile, for Otterbein, it was a strong first half from Kyla Irby, as well as Olivia Majors. Majors finished with 7 points in that first half, as did Irby. And the Purple Raiders will look to mount a second half comeback as they trail heading into the halftime break here, 36-28. We'll take a short break here on the live stream, but we'll be back for second half action between Otterbein and Mount Union. Triplet back here at the MAC, getting you ready for second half action between your Mount Union Purple Raiders and the Otterbein Cardinals. And here at the halftime break, Otterbein on top, 36-28 over Mount Union. Hello again, everyone. My name is Jacob Batara, flying solo here today on the women's basketball live stream. We'll take a look at some stats right here at the halftime break that's gotten us to where we are right now, as Otterbein so far in this one shooting 14 for 37 from the floor, good for 38% from the floor, 5 for 11 from downtown, it's good for 46%, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, your Purple Raiders 11 for 31 from the floor, that's good for 36% from the floor, 4 for 11 from downtown, also 36%, and 2 for 4 from the free throw line. A very even game in a lot of statistical categories, and really it just was a big Otterbein run. Otterbein went on a 17-2 run after the game was tied at 14. That gave them a big edge. Otterbein in that first half led by as many as 16 points. Mount Union, though, a late run in that first half, capped off by a big Day Nash 2-point field goal. It was originally ruled a 3-point shot, and then the call was overturned into a 2-point shot. Nonetheless, that buzzer beater made it just a single-digit ball game here for Mount Union as they look to mount a comeback in this one. Both teams sharing the ball very nicely here so far today, as Otterbein with 10 assists on 14 made shots, Mount Union 7 assists on 11 made shots. Really, the big difference maker so far has been two categories. Mount Union 8 turnovers in that first half, Otterbein just 3. And as far as bench production, Otterbein had 19 bench points in that first half, Mount Union just with 5. Otterbein's leading scorer actually came off the bench in that first half as well. Kyla Irby, she led the way for the Cardinals with 9 points in the first half right there. Olivia Majors had 7 for Otterbein as well. She's 2 for 2 from the three-point line, as the Purple Raiders held Otterbein's leading scorer on the season, Katie McCray, to just 2 points in that first half, but she has a game-high 5 assists. She's been distributing the ball very nicely here today for Otterbein. Day Nash had a great first half for Mount Union, led the way with 10 points for the Purple Raiders, while Elizabeth Mason had 8 points and a game-high 7 rebounds for the Purple Raiders there too. So those two definitely doing their part to keep the Raiders here in this one, and we'll see if they're able to mount the comeback. Again, Mount Union currently on a 5-game losing streak. They're trying to snap that here today. We'll see if they're able to with a strong second half showing. Starting fives will be back out for both squads for Mount Union. Day Nash, Reese Triplett, Michaela Dunkel, Allie Hudick, and Elizabeth Mason. And for Otterbein, it'll be Maisie King, Katie McCray, Claire Radabaugh, Olivia Majors, and Ella Nagel. Michaela Dunkel will play. We'll start the second half with 2 fouls. Ella Nagel with 2 fouls as well. So neither team really in too much foul trouble here. As we are back underway here at the MAC, we'll see if the Raiders can mount a second half comeback. Triplett now with it. She gives over to Allie Hudick, now over to Day. Nash nearly lost the handle. Defended closely here by Katie McCray. Now swings it up top to Hudick. Around they go to Elizabeth Mason. Mason now with 9 on the shot clock. Raiders need to get a shot up here. Gives over to Reese Triplett. Back over to Mason. She puts on the floor with 3 seconds. 2 seconds left. Doesn't matter. Elizabeth Mason with the strong take. She joins Day Nash with 10 points. 36-30. Raiders mounting the comeback. We have a whistle. And it's a traveling violation going on Katie McCray. Credit the trap right there from Mount Union. Just about as perfect of a start for Mount Union in the first 30 seconds of this second half. A basket and then a forced turnover. We'll see if they can score some points off of it here. Elizabeth Mason now with it. Swings it up top. Reese Triplett steps into a 3 at the top of the key. It was in and out, no good. Rebound to Maisie King. King swings it over in the corner to Radabaugh. She'll look to drive now. Around they go to King. Back over here, Katie McCrary. McCrary up top. Great ball movement here by Otterbein. Down low inside they go. Nagel out to Radabaugh for the open 3. Beautiful ball movement. And Claire Radabaugh from downtown makes it 39-30 Otterbein. Up in the high post they go. Elizabeth Mason gives out to a wide open Day Nash. She steps into another 3, and Day remains red hot. Her third 3-pointer here today. 13 now for Day. It's 39-33 Otterbein. At the other end, that pass taken away by Reese Triplett. And the Raiders are on the break. Triplett will just slow things down now here She gives over to Dunkel. Entry pass down low inside for Mason. She's knocked down to the ground. No whistle, but that ball goes out of bounds off Otterbein. Will remain Mount Union basketball. Lily Sweeney back in here now for the Purple Raiders. And we'll see here what Mount Union draws up off the inbound. It's Lily Sweeney who steps into a three. That's no good. A rebound to the Cardinals. It's now at the other end. Give up here to Claire Radaball. And out of bounds that will go. It will remain Otterbein basketball. Kyla Irby back into the ball game here. Now off the inbound, Irby swings it out up top. Katie McCrary. McCrary steps into the open mid-range. That's no good. Rebound, Maisie King. Second chance here now for Otterbein as King gets to the rim for two. 41-33 Otterbein. Day now with it. She looks to cross over and get into the paint, but nice defense by McCrary. Forces her to give it up to Michaela Dunkel. Dunkel now gives over to a wide open Elizabeth Mason for three, and Mason knocks it down. Elizabeth Mason has 13 now for Mount Union. And the Raiders still clawing their way back in this one. It's 41-36. Irby now looks to drive. Swings it out up top. It's taken away by Elizabeth Mason, and a foul going on Katie McCrary. Mason comes up with the steal and draws the quick foul. McCrary's first, team's first. Grace Wolf, Haley Haywood back in the ball game now for Mount Union. It's Elizabeth Mason and Day Nash each with 13 points here this afternoon. Mason's hit 2 threes, Nash has hit 3. They've definitely sparked this Raider offense. Grace Wolf now into the paint with a nice move. Couldn't get the shot. Followed her own miss though. Now gives it over to Mason. Over to Day now. Nash swings it over to Lily Sweeney. Sweeney driving. Goes up with the shot. Can't get it to go. Offensive board to Grace Wolf once again. And Wolf puts it back in. It's 41-38. And that ball is knocked out of bounds. It will remain Otterbein basketball. The Raiders coming out with a lot of intensity here in this second half. And it's just a 3-point ball game. They were trailing at one point by 16 in this one. It's cross court, a great find to Kyla Irby. Credit the pass from Katie McCrary. Silences the crowd here momentarily. 43-38 Otterbein. Day now with it. She drives, kicks it out. Sweeney now puts it on the floor, swings it over to Wolf. Wolf puts it on the floor, drives, tries to kick it out to Sweeney. That ball though taken away by Olivia Majors. Majors over to McCrary. Down low inside they go to Nagel. Nagel going to work, goes up with the shot, gets it to go. And one opportunity upcoming for Ella Nagel. Foul on Elizabeth Mason, her second, team's first. Sierra Schlosser and Addison Mucci check back in here for the Purple Raiders as Elizabeth Mason and Day Nash will take a seat. Nicole Terry back in here for Otterbein. They'll actually get Claire Radaball back in here too on a late substitution. So 45-38 Cardinals. Nagel's free throw is no good. Off the rebound though, it's off the fingertips of Schlosser. And Otterbein maintains the possession. Down low inside they go to Nagel. Nagel tries to get it to a cutter and Radaball is able to do so now up top to Terry. Terry swings it over to McCrary. 4 seconds on the shot clock as McCrary drives into a crowd. Kicks out to the open Terry for 3. That's an air ball. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Ball back here to Mount Union. So the Raiders cut it down to 3. It was 41-38. Now they find themselves trailing 45-38. It's up top, Sierra Schlosser. Hands it off to Sweeney. Gives it over to Addison Mucci. Mucci now. Looking to put the moves on. Swings it over. Haley Haywood. Haley Haywood will look to drive baseline. Now swings it down low inside. A great pass to Grace Wolf. That ball is blocked out of bounds though. No whistle. And the ball will remain here with the Purple Raiders. 7 seconds on the shot clock. 5:17 left to go in the third quarter. Sweeney will look to inbound here. Needs to get it in. Gets it over to Haley Haywood. And Haywood right to the rim for 2. Great execution off the inbound. 45-40. McCrary coming with it the other end. And Katie McCrary coast to coast. Gets to the rim for 2. So quick response from Otterbein. It's 47-40. Wolf now tries to get it up top in the high post to Schlosser. We have a whistle. Foul going on Ella Nagel. That's a big one. It's going to be her 3rd personal foul. 2nd of the half. The Purple Raiders will maintain the possession. Allie Hudick, Michaela Dunkel back in for Mount Union. And for Otterbein, the 21 Serenity Castle back into the ballgame. 47-40 Otterbein. The Raiders are hanging in there. Addison Mucci now with it. Takes a screen from Schlosser, now swings it over to Allie Hudick. Hudick looks to drive, picks up her dribble, swings it over to Dunkel, tries to get down low inside to Schlosser. That one's taken away though. Cardinals going with it the other way. McCrary on the break, gets to the rim for 2. Another big time layup from Katie McCrary. She's starting to heat up now, 6 points, 49-40. Mount Union at the other end. Mucci drives into McCrary, and McCrary's going to be called for the reach in her 2nd, team's 3rd. And McCrary's going to take a seat, and Olivia Majors is going to check back in here for Otterbein. And Day back into the ballgame now for Mount Union, as will Tess Conroy. Off the inbound here, it's Hudick. She'll take a screen from Michaela Dunkel. Nearly lost the handle. Now needs to get it to Conroy. Conroy trying to save it before it goes in the backcourt. Nice heads-up play there by her. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Nash. Swings it over. Sierra Schlosser now back up top to Day. Day looks to drive into the paint. Fires up the shot and draws the whistle. A foul's going on Claire Radaball. That'll be her 2nd, team's 4th. Day will head to the line for 2. So Day Nash, just 2 points off her season high. She had 15 points earlier this year at Case Western Reserve. She's got 14 now here today, 49-41. Career high for Day was last year in her sophomore season. She finished with 20 points at Capital. And she ties her season high now with 15 points, still with 4:09 left to go in this 3rd quarter. 49-42 in favor of Otterbein. At the other end, it's Castle now. She drives into a crowd. Now drives it out to Majors, right back to Castle. She steps into the contested 3. That's an air ball, no good. Out of bounds, and it will be Purple Raider basketball. So both teams shooting it well here in this 3rd quarter. Mount Union 5 for 10, Otterbein 6 for 8. Yeah, that's led to this 49-42 advantage. Make that 6 for 9 for the Cardinals. Actually, it's Hudick at the other end, steps into a 3. It's too strong. Long rebound to Irby. Irby now with it. She gives it out up top. It's now Majors. Feeds it down low inside to Terry. And that's going to be the 3rd foul coming on Michaela Dunkel now. So Dunkel whistled there for her 3rd personal, 2nd team foul of the quarter. Elizabeth Mason checks back in. Dunkel will remain on the court. Actually, we'll have the late substitution. Grace Wolf back in for Mount Union. The freshman Grace Wolf has put in some good minutes here off the bench for the Purple Raiders this afternoon. Around the perimeter, the Cardinals will go here now. Up top to Irby. She steps into a 3. High arcing shot's no good. Off the fingertips of Elizabeth Mason, though out of bounds. Will remain Otterbein basketball. Katie McCrary back in for the Cardinals. McCray will inbound it here. Now off the inbound, around the perimeter they will go. Radeball tries to feed it down low inside, but Grace Wolf got her hand on that one. We got a whistle, jump ball. Possession arrow will remain in favor of Otterbein here once again. And the referees are going to talk this over here, as I believe they will change the shot clock. The shot clock reset when it looked like Mount Union had full possession of the basketball. But then once they got tangled up, that would mean that Otterbein would have to have the shot clock reset to 20 seconds, which is exactly what they do up there on the clock. So a mini little timeout for both teams here. But now 3:02 left to go in this third quarter. 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Cardinals rather than 29. And McCrary inbounds it here. It's now Radeball steps into the mid-range shot, gets it to go. Claire Radeball, she's got 7 points now. Makes it 51-42 in favor of Otterbein. Day now with it, swings it up top to Hudick. Hudick tries to get it down low inside to Elizabeth Mason, taken away though by Serenity Castle. Castle gives it over to Irby. Irby driving into the paint, goes up for the shot, can't get it to go. Nice defense from Tess Conroy, forced the miss. Day Nash now with it, she gives it over to Conroy. She steps into the transition three, it was in and out, no good, almost all the way down. Out of bounds it'll go, let's say last off Grace Wolf. However, another referee coming in here, they'll discuss things. And they will change the call on the floor. Mount Union basketball. Reese Triplett back in here for the Purple Raiders. And Maisie King back in for Otterbein. Triplett now will inbound it. Gives it over to Elizabeth Mason. Back up top, Triplett. Triplett looks to drive into the paint. We got a whistle. And a foul's going to be going here on Otterbein. And that should put the Raiders in the bonus. It will indeed. The foul's going to go on Kyla Irby. It's a reach-in foul. Her first, team's fifth. That will send the freshman Reese Triplett to the free throw line here for two. So Reese Triplett, Mount Union's second leading scorer this season. Just behind Elizabeth Mason, averaging around 9 points per game. Can't quite hit the first. And Triplett will look to knock down the second here and split the pair. That one's too strong, no good. So 0 for 2 from the line that time. Score remained 51-42. At the other end, a great move by Katie McCray. Just couldn't finish the layup. We've got a whistle here. It looks like a foul will be going on Mount Union. It looks like it'll be on Grace Wolf. And so that will be Wolf's first. Team's third. 2:10 left to go, third quarter. And a whistle. And play will resume now as Castle gives it up top to Radeball. Now over to McCray. McCray looks to drive, gets to the paint, can't get it to go. Rebound Elizabeth Mason, and Mason's going to draw a reach-in foul. Fouls are coming fast and furious now as Katie McCray whistled for her third personal. And in the penalty situation, Elizabeth Mason will head to the line now for two. Mason is 37 for 45 from the free throw line this season. Is good for 82%. Olivia Majors back in now for Otterbein as Mason will look to cut into the deficit here. First free throw is good for Elizabeth. 51-43. She will look to knock down the second, go 2 for 2 from the line. She's able to do so. Nothing but net. 51-44. The Raiders are not going away, ladies and gentlemen. They cut the deficit to 3. It's ballooned back out to 7, but the Raiders with this defensive pressure trying to force a turnover. But Castle now with it. She looks to drive. Goes up with the mid-range. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Conroy. A whistle, and Reese Triplett took quite a hard fall. And she does look like she's okay. And it's going to be a foul on Kyla Irby. Her second personal. And Triplett, glad to see her get up under her own power right there. She took quite the fall. Landed on her back, it looked like, too. And she's going to head to the line. They might look at this one and see if it could be a flagrant foul. Which you don't normally see that in D3. But that, I believe, is what the referees are discussing. And they are going to go to the replay monitor here to see if it was maybe a hostile act. But with 1:47 left to go in this third quarter, regardless, Reese Triplett will head to the free throw line for 2 free throws. But it could be upgraded here, which would give Mount Union the possession, I do believe, after technical free throws. So this could be a big one. So the foul occurred away from the ball as well, so I'd imagine that's reason number 1 as well why the referees are looking at this one on the replay monitor. So the rebound was happening at the other side of the court. The Raiders were seemingly getting ready to go on the break. Then Reese Triplett definitely took quite the tumble there. The pair of referees at the scorers table now bringing in the third referee to take a look at this one. Again, not every day you see them look over a foul like this in Division III basketball where it could be upgraded to a flagrant foul, but seeing how hard Triplett fell to the ground right there, I do believe this is warranted. But they'll continue to talk things over here at the replay monitor. With that, taking a look at stats just for this third quarter alone. Mount Union outscoring Otterbein 16-15, a very closely contested third quarter. The Raiders shooting 42% this quarter, 33% from downtown. Otterbein at 47%, 25% from downtown. Rebounds are even at 6, as are the assists, and the turnovers fairly even as well. Just 3 turnovers for Otterbein, 4 for Mount Union. The referees are talking things over at the center court logo now, though. And still no official ruling. As they're discussing the call of whatever's going to come with Diana Knowles, the head coach for Otterbein. They've not went over to Susie Vanette yet, though, and mentioned anything of what a call could possibly be. As Diana Knowles seems to be pleading her case on exactly what the call could be that could be in favor of her team. And we will see here. So they confirm the foul. So it won't be necessarily a flagrant foul. So no technical after that. Just a common foul. The foul again, though, goes on Kyla Irby. It'll be her second. And then the penalty, Mount Union heading to the line for 2. Triplett can't get the first. She's now 0 for 3 from the free throw line here today. Trying to split the pair and cut this deficit down to 6. She's able to do so. It's a 2-possession ball game now, 51-45 in favor of Otterbein. Triplett on the board now with her first point here tonight. Raiders coming out with the pressure here. Triplett nearly comes up with the steal and gets called for the foul. Nearly timed that up perfectly, but she gets called for the reach in. Her first, team's 4th. Next foul will put Otterbein in the bonus for the remainder of the third quarter. off the inbound. Irby now feeds it down low inside. Maisie King goes up with the shot, can't get it to go. Rebound, Grace Wolf. Raiders trying to cut into the deficit a little bit more here now. As Day gives it over to Mason. She pump fakes. Now swings over to Triplett. Now over to Conroy. Conroy up top. Day Nash. Nash pulls things out. Now gives it over to Wolf. Over to Conroy. Conroy swings it out up top. Reese Triplett. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Swings it down low inside to Elizabeth Mason. And Elizabeth Mason has got 17 points now. 51-47. Raiders with some pressure, and Reese Triplett comes up with the steal, goes up with the shot and gets it to go. It's a 2-point Mount Union deficit. 20-second difference between shot clock and game clock. The Raiders continuing with the press. It's caused some issues here so far today. Otterbein is able to break it, and the Cardinals are going to hold it here, take down as much time as possible. There's about 11 seconds on the shot clock, 31 seconds on the game clock. And a near turnover, it is indeed a turnover. Tess Conroy comes up with the steal. Raiders can tie or take the lead to end this third quarter as they will hold it for the final shot. Day now with it. She gives it over to Conroy. Conroy on the wing. Gives it right back to Reese Triplett. Now it's 6 seconds on the clock. Gives it over to Conroy. 2 seconds, 1 second. Goes up with the shot and gets it to go. Tess Conroy right before the buzzer ties things up. The Raiders, they trail by as much as 16 in that first half. And it's now a tied ball game. 51 apiece. What a end to the quarter by the Mount Union Purple Raiders. A 7-0 run to tie things up at 51, and you got to credit the defense to end that quarter. Defense was leading to offense at the end, and that is what has allowed Mount Union to find themselves back in a tied ball game. It's almost like it's 0-0 now at this point, ladies and gentlemen, as they tie things up at 51, again trailed by as many as 16 points in that first half. But Mount Union, led by Elizabeth Mason and Day Nash, getting things done now here offensively. Just taking a look now as we head into the fourth quarter, just some overall team stats. Otterbein is shooting 21 for 53, good for 39% from the floor. 6 for 15 from downtown, good for 40%. 3 for 5 from the free throw line, good for 60%. Mount Union shooting 19 for 46 overall, 41% from the floor, while 6 for 17 from downtown, 35%. From 3, and 7 for 12 from the free throw line, 58%. Otterbein slightly out-rebounding here, out-rebounding Mount Union 25-24, but it's been a very even ball game in most every statistical category. 14 assists for Otterbein, 13 for Mount Union, 12 turnovers for the Purple Raiders, 8 for the Cardinals. Elizabeth Mason, Day Nash, Allie Hudick, Reese Triplett, Grace Wolf on the floor for the Purple Raiders. For Otterbein, their starting five: Maisie King, Katie McCrary, Claire Radaball, Olivia Majors, and Ella Nagel out on the floor here. The fourth and final frame here at the MAC. It starts off though with a Katie McCrary steal. McCrary trying to give the Cardinals back the lead, but she missed the layup. Fight for the ball. Out of bounds it goes. Let's say last off Nash. Nash and McCrary both down on the ground. But no whistle, no foul call. And as a result, it will be Otterbein basketball here. 25 seconds on the shot clock. The inbound to Claire Radaball. She looks to drive, goes up with the mid-range, gets it to go. Cardinals regain the lead, 53-51. But Day now with it. Raiders again trying to snap their 5-game losing streak as Elizabeth Mason drives, kicks it out to Hudick. She steps into a three, and it's nothing but net. Allie Hudick, she's got 6 points. The Raiders retake the lead, 54-53. Their last lead was in that first quarter. Elizabeth Mason now comes up with the steal, looks to drive, trying to get down to Triplett, but had it taken away. Out of bounds it will go though. We'll say last off the Purple Raiders. Otterbein basketball, just about a minute into this fourth and final frame. What a game we have here going on this afternoon though. Again, both teams playing really essentially for seeding in the OAC here. Both came in tied for 6th so far in the OAC standings. Only the top 6 teams make the OAC tournament. So this could be a game that means a lot down the line. As Maisie King feeds it down low inside to Ella Nagel. Great entry pass, but Nagel couldn't finish. The rebound to Mount Union. Day now with it. She gives it over to Elizabeth Mason. Mason swings it back up top. Allie Hudick. Hudick looks to drive, picks up a dribble at the elbow, now swings out to Wolf. Thought about the 3, gives it over to Day. Day now looks to drive into the paint, gets to the rim for 2, can't get it to go. Offensive board to Grace Wolf though. Her shot is blocked. Rebound to the Cardinals. McCrary ahead of the pack, gets to the rim for 2. Katie McCrary using her speed once again. She's got 8 points. Otterbein regains a 1-point advantage, 55-54. Day now with it. Takes a screen from Elizabeth Mason. Swings it over to Reese Triplett now. Triplett will take a screen from Grace Wolf. Now looks to drive. Kicks it out. Allie Hudick. Hudick now. She steps into another 3 and got it to go! Allie Hudick. She's heating up. 2 threes now in this 4th and final frame. And Hudick now has got 9 points. All 9 coming from the 3-point line. It's her 3rd 3 of the contest. 57-55. Raiders coming out in the zone here, and it works to perfection. Another steal. Elizabeth Mason on a 3-on-1 break. Gives it over to Reese Triplett. Triplett goes to the rim for 2. Gets it to go. Reese Triplett. She's got 5 points all in this second half. 59-55. Raiders once again coming with pressure. Got a whistle and a foul. We'll see what they call it on. Oh, it's on the Raiders. It looked for a second that Katie McCrary might have thrown an elbow into the chest of Triplett. But nonetheless, Reese Triplett gets called for the foul. Her second, team's first of the quarter. And we'll have some substitutions. Kyla Irby back in for Otterbein. Mount Union, Allie Hudick will be the only Raider remaining out on the court from that last 5. And Addison Mucci, Sierra Schlosser, Michaela Dunkel, as well as Tess Conroy back in here for Mount Union. McCrary defended here by Mucci. Gives it over to Irby. Irby now pushed back here. Gives it over to King. Now swings over to McCrary. McCrary gives it up. Nice take by Olivia Majors. She gets to the rim for 2. 59-57. It's Addie Mucci. Swings it up top. Sierra Schlosser. Back to Mucci. Mucci pump fakes. Now looks to drive. Trying to go baseline here. A nice move by Mucci. She swings out to a wide open Tess Conroy for 3, and she got it to go. A great move by Mucci and a metal 3 from Tess Conroy. 62-57 at the other end. Otterbein now with it. Over in the corner to Irby. She tries to find down low inside Ella Nagel. Out of bounds it goes though. The Purple Raiders force the turnover. What an effort in this second half for Mount Union. Trailed by 8 at halftime, 36-28. They've outscored Otterbein by 13 in this second half, 34-21 so far, with 6 minutes left to go in this one. Mucci up top to Schlosser. Schlosser now gives it over to Dunkel. Dunkel looking where to go with it. Gives it back over to Schlosser. Schlosser now swings it up top to Hudick. 7 seconds on the shot clock as Hudick steps into the mid-range, gets it to go, nothing but net. Allie Hudick. She's on fire in this 4th quarter. 8 of her 11 points in this 4th and final period. 64-57 Mount Union. McCrary now looks to drive. Euro steps into the paint, draws the foul. We'll see who they get on that one. If it's Michaela Dunkel, that'll be her 4th. And they will call it on Allie Hudick, so just her first, team's second. Katie McCrary to the line for 2. Again, McCrary, the team's leading scorer this season, averaging just over 10 points per contest. She's got 9 now after that first free throw. She'll look for point number 10. And 10 points now for McCrary. Timeout for Otterbein. 5:39 left to go here in this one. And the Purple Raiders hanging on to that 64-59 lead. as it looks like Elizabeth Mason will get set to check back in for the Purple Raiders after this next stoppage of play. I just cannot say enough about Mount Union's effort here this afternoon, as they got off to a fast start and then cooled down significantly in that second quarter for a period of time. That allowed Otterbein to extend their lead out to 31-15. Mount Union outscored them the rest of the half. They outscored them 13-5 to cut the deficit back down to 8. That proved to be crucial, as then they ended the third quarter on a big run, tied things up at the end of 3, and so far in this fourth quarter, such a strong effort, they find themselves up 5. Raiders are shooting 5 for 7 so far in this fourth and final period. They've made all 3 3-point attempts. The Cardinals out 3 for 5 in this fourth quarter. Really has been Mount Union's defense, though. It's been brought up to a different level in this second half. They forced 8 Otterbein turnovers so far in this second half. And we shall see if the Purple Raiders can close things out here. Elizabeth Mason was the only substitution for either squad. Addison Mucci will bring it up the floor now for the Purple Raiders. 5.5 minutes left to go here. Mucci gives it over to Conroy. And Conroy hands it off to Hudick on the perimeter. Hudick now swings it right back to Dunkel, now right back to Allie once again as Hudick goes up with the floater, can't get it to go. Offensive board though to Elizabeth Mason. So the Raiders with a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock now. It's Hudick with it, takes a screen from Dunkel. Now swings it around here, Addie Mucci. And Mucci now with 8 seconds on the shot clock, gives it over to Hudick. Back over Elizabeth Mason. Mason puts on the floor with 3 seconds on the shot clock, lost the ball, but into the hands of Michaela Dunkel, right place at the right time. Just gets the shot up right as the shot clock expires. 66-59 at the other end. The Cardinals quick on the break as Irby tries to get down to Nagel. Great recovery from Allie Hudick. She tangled it up with Ella Nagel. And it's a jump ball, possession now in favor of Otterbein. Can't say enough about Allie Hudick right there, though. If she doesn't get in there, then that's an easy layup for Ella Nagel. Off the inbound, McCrary will give it over here to Nagel. Now over to Irby, back up top to McCrary. McCrary will look to drive. Now tries to get it over to King. Mucci got the hand on that one, though. Otterbein maintains the possession. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Maisie King now. Right back over here to Irby. Irby now over to McCrary. 3 seconds on the shot clock. She drives into a crowd and draws the whistle. That foul is going on Addison Mucci, her first, team's third. Fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock now for Otterbein. Serenity Castle back in for the Cardinals. Reese Triplett back in for Mount Union, as will Day-Day Nash. 4:25 remains here. Raiders on top by 7. The inbound here to Otterbein. Castle gives it over to McCrary. McCrary looking to direct traffic here with 9 on the shot clock. Gives it up, high post, Serenity Castle. Drew the double team. Now looks to drive here. Tries to kick it out to Irby. He's able to do so. 1 second on the shot clock, and oh my goodness. Kyla Irby throws up a circus shot, gets it to go. 13 points. 66-61. At the other end, Triplett now with it. Swings it over to Hudick. Down low inside. Michaela Dunkel, a great entry pass, and Dunkel is going to be rewarded with free throws here. What a pass from Allie Hudick. Get it down to Michaela Dunkel. The foul's going to go on Ella Nagel. That's her 4th personal foul now. First of the quarter. Michaela Dunkel with 2 big free throws here for Mount Union. First free throw is up and good. 67-61. Dunkel look to go 2 for 2 from the line. She's able to do so. Nothing but net. Big time free throws from Michaela Dunkel. She's normally just a 44% free throw shooter, but she knocks them both down at a big moment. 68-61. As now here at the other end, we got another jump ball. This time the possession arrow is in favor of Mount Union. So at that last stoppage of play, Maisie King checked back in for Otterbein. But the Raiders force another turnover. Just looking to close things out here. Elizabeth Mason now with it. Hands it off to Reese Triplett. Triplett looks to drive, but she lost the handle. It's taken away by Olivia Majors. Majors trying to get ahead of the pack here. Goes coast to coast to the rim for two. Cardinals cut it back down to 5. 68-63 Mount Union. Day over to Michaela Dunkel. Dunkel puts it on the floor, looks to drive on Maisie King. A nice move. Goes up with the shot, just couldn't finish. And a whistle and a foul is going to go here on Katie McCrary. She pushed Day Nash down to the ground. McCrary is going to be called for her 4th personal foul now. Just the second of the quarter. So the Raiders will inbound it, and McCrary will take a seat. So the Cardinals will be without their leading scorer, Katie McCrary, here for the time being. We'll see how long Coach Diana Knowles chooses to keep McCrary on the bench. As Radabal checks back in for Otterbein. Day now with it. Up top, Elizabeth Mason. Back over Allie Hudick. Hudick swings it back up top, Day Nash. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. She steps back into a 3. That's short. Into the hands of Serenity Castle. Cardinals trying to cut it to a 1-possession ball game here. As Radabal will look to drive. Kicks it over to Irby. Now up top, Serenity Castle. Around to Olivia Majors. Down low inside, Maisie King. King looking to go to work. Goes up with a hook shot. And a whistle. Foul going on Michaela Dunkel. That's a big one. Her 4th personal foul. 4th foul of the period. So next foul will put Otterbein in the bonus. And with that, Michaela Dunkel will take a seat. Grace Wolf back into the ballgame. Tess Conroy back in as well. And Otterbein will play both their starters now, who have 4 fouls, as Ella Nagel and Katie McCrary will check back into the contest. Maisie King's first free throw is short. That was a big one. So regardless of this next free throw, it will remain a 2-possession ball game. Second one, no good as well. Out of bounds, they'll say last off the Purple Raiders. So Otterbein will maintain the possession. So a second chance here now for the Cardinals. McCrary will inbound. Gets it over to Maisie King, now up top to Irby. Now down low inside McCrary, a great pass to Ella Nagel. And the finish will make it 68-65, just a 3-point ball game with 2:20 left to go. Otterbein now with some pressure in the backcourt. The Raiders need to get it across half court. They're able to do so. Hudick now gives it out up top to Day Nash. Nash right back to Hudick. 10 seconds on the shot clock as Hudick steps into another 3, and oh my goodness! Allie Hudick once again. Her 4th 3 of the game, 3rd of the 4th quarter. And Allie Hudick makes it 71-65 at the other end. Irby steps into a 3, and she hits one of her own. Kyla Irby's got 16 points. 71-68. Back and forth they go here. Day swings it over to Hudick. Hudick now driving coast to coast. Goes to the rim for 2, and Allie Hudick once again 16 points. 13 in this 4th quarter. 73-68. Katie McCrary now with it for the Cardinals. A 5-point ball game. Allie Hudick coming up with some clutch moments for the Raiders is at the other end. Maisie King can't get it to go, and she knocked it out of bounds. Purple Raider basketball with 1:11 left to go here. Michaela Dunkel will check back into the ball game here, as will Serenity Castle. Allie Hudick, though, she had just 3 points through the first 3 quarters in this one. She's now up to 16 points. Just hit timely basket after timely basket. Tess Conroy now with it. Gives it up down low inside Elizabeth Mason, and Mason drew the whistle with 59 seconds left to go. A foul before the shot going on Serenity Castle, her first, team's third. Hudick will get set to inbound. 5-point Mount Union advantage now with under a minute to go. They trail by as much as 16 in this one. They inbound to Michaela Dunkel. Dunkel draws the double now, goes up with the hook shot, and Michaela Dunkel with the big bucket. 75-68, Katie McCrary now with it. She looks to drive. Cut off baseline, a whistle, and that's going to do it for Michaela Dunkel. She gets called for the blocking foul. Her fifth and final foul of the contest. Penalty situation, Katie McCrary will head to the line for two. And Addie Mukshi will check back in here as Dunkel will take a seat. But Michaela Dunkel gets a nice ovation. Good game from Michaela. She'll foul out of today's contest, but finish with 8 points on the afternoon. Claire Radabar will get set to check back in here for Otterbein as well. It's Katie McCrary to the line for two big free throws for Otterbein. That one's good. 75-69. McCrary now 11 points here on the afternoon. Second one's up. That one rims out, no good. Rebound Elizabeth Mason. And a timeout for Susie Vanette. She'll talk things over. 46.8 seconds left to go here in what's been a great effort from Mount Union here this afternoon. 75-69, Mount Union trying to close out this comeback effort. Again, they trailed by as many as 16 points here today. And the Raiders are currently riding a 5-game losing streak, so this would be a huge win for the Purple Raiders here this afternoon. As we'll take a look at scores from around women's hoops around the OAC here. Just 19 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter between Baldwin Wallace and Marietta. Baldwin Wallace on top 56-51 in that matchup. Game that went final. Ohio Northern defeats Muskingum 57-47. Capital defeated John Carroll as well 68-63. That was a big matchup between those two squads. Mount Union will see John Carroll on Wednesday here at the MAC. And then in the fourth quarter between Wilmington and Heidelberg, just 14 seconds remaining in that matchup. That's a very close one as well. Wilmington on top 57-54. So a lot of great games around the OAC women's hoops here today. But can't say enough about just a total team effort here this afternoon. Elizabeth Mason and Dede Nash really kept the Raiders in the game with their offense. As Elizabeth Mason has got a game high for Mount Union, 17 points and 12 rebounds to go along with 5 assists. Just a great all-around game. Also 3 steals for Elizabeth. Dede's got 15 points here today, tying her season high. But it's been Allie Hudick that stepped up in the biggest way in this fourth quarter. 16 points for Hudick, 13 of them coming here in this fourth and final frame. She's hit 3 of her 4 3-pointers in this fourth quarter. But those 3 combined for Mount Union have scored 48 of their 75 points here today. Michaela Dunkel's got 8 points for Mount Union. She just fouled out, unfortunately, though, for the Purple Raiders. But in just 13 minutes of action, the freshman Tess Conroy has also put in some great minutes here this afternoon for Mount Union. 7 points for Conroy off the Raider bench. Grace Wolf as well. She might only have just 2 points here today, but don't let that fool you. 4 rebounds, 3 of them on the offensive glass as well. She is battling for second possessions for the Purple Raiders here today. Again, just an all-around team effort as they look to break that 5-game losing streak. So Conroy will inbound it right in front of the scorer's table here. And essentially it will be an inbound, and I would imagine either a quick steal or a foul coming from the Cardinals. Conroy getting set to inbound. Needs to get it in here near 5 seconds. She gets it over to Dede Nash. Nash is going to get fouled. That was the foul to give. The next foul will send Mount Union into the bonus. So Olivia Majors gets called for her second. Team's fourth. Wisely here, the Cardinals do not have Katie McCrary out on the floor. She's playing with 4 fouls now. Ella Nagel is also playing with 4 fouls. She remains on the court for Otterbein. Conroy will get set to inbound again, needs to get it in here, and gets it to Day-Day, and Day-Day is going to get fouled by Olivia Majors. Majors is third. Penalty situation will send Day-Day Nash to the free throw line for 2. So Day-Day Nash, 2 big free throws for the Purple Raiders. Just a 52% free throw shooter on the year. However, she's 2 for 2 tonight. Again, she's tied her season high with 15 points so far here today. First free throw for Day-Day is up. And ice water in her veins right there. 76-69, a new season high for Nash. She looks to hit the second one and push the lead back out to 8. That one's no good. Fight for the rebound, though. Elizabeth Mason tipped it out, and Day-Day Nash gets it. And Nash is going to be fouled again by Kyla Irby now. Her third penalty situation. Day-Day's back to the line for 2 more. So a big offensive board for the Purple Raiders there. 2 more free throws upcoming. 38 seconds left to go. Day-Day, first one's up. Too strong, no good. So we'll remain 76-69. Second one for Nash is up and good. 8-point Raider lead. Timeout for the Cardinals. So Nash has got 17 points now, tying Elizabeth Mason for the team high here this afternoon. The Cardinals, they are going to need a quick basket here, and I imagine it'll be much of the same. They'll try to get a steal if they can, but if they're not able to get a quick steal, they would definitely have to foul Mount Union to keep this game going. Just what a game we've seen here today. When it looked like the Cardinals were going to pull away and cruise, the Purple Raiders turned it up offensively to end the first half, and then defensively here in this second half, have just done a great job against this Otterbein Cardinals squad. And offensively, the Raider offense has came to life as well. As Mountain Union in this second half is outscoring Otterbein 49-33 after they were outscored 36-28 at the halftime break. The Cardinals will have the possession here, though. They will have it side out of bounds opposite the scorer's table. So for Mount Union, it'll be Day-Day Nash, Addison Mucci, Ali Hudick, Elizabeth Mason, Reese Triplett out on the floor. Serenity Castle will be out there with Ella Nagel, as well as Katie McCrary, Kyla Irby, and lastly rounding it out, that 5 is Olivia Majors for Otterbein. Now here off the inbound, Majors with it, defended closely here by Mucci. She looks to drives into a crowd that nearly lost it, now out to Irby. She steps into a 3, that one's an air ball. Out of bounds it goes, Purple Raider basketball. 29.3 seconds left to go here in the fourth and final quarter. Reese Triplett will take a seat. Tess Conroy back in for Mount Union. The Cardinals not with any pressure yet. Here in the backcourt, Elizabeth Mason now gives it over to Conroy. Conroy back to Mason, so they're not able to come up with the steal. Mason will give it over to Hudick. Back over to Mason, there goes the foul. And that will do it for Ella Nagel's day. So Nagel will foul out here. Her 5th foul of the game. And Nagel will finish today's contest with 6 points, 4 rebounds to go along with 2 blocks. Nicole Terry back in here for Otterbein, and Elizabeth Mason, Mount Union's leading scorer on the season, and she's tied with Day-Day Nash today with the team high 17 points to the line for 2. First one's up and good. continuing just an impressive freshman season is Elizabeth Mason here. Second one is up and good as well. So Mason's got a game high 19 points now. And the Raiders are just 15 seconds away from a victory. Irby at the other end fires up a three, in and out, no good. Rebound, Elizabeth Mason. He gives it over to Addison Mukshi. And Mukshi will just dribble out the clock here. With 3 seconds left and a standing ovation from this Mount Union crowd. Rightfully so. The Purple Raiders break a 5-game losing streak and turn this game around entirely. Trailed by as many as 16 points here this afternoon. Did not matter. Mount Union comes away victorious, 79-69. What a great game from the Mount Union Purple Raiders here this afternoon. As leading all scorers here today for Mount Union was Elizabeth Mason. 19 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists for the freshman to go along with 3 steals as well. Just a great performance from her, but she was not alone. Day-Day Nash had a season-high 17 points here this afternoon, knocked down 3 3-pointers in the process. And Allie Hudick, can't say enough about her. 16 points here this afternoon, knocked down 4 3-pointers, 13 of her 16, coming in this fourth and final period to complete the comeback for Mount Union, as Hudick just did a great performance all the way around, knocking down those 4 3-pointers to go along with her 16 points. For Otterbein in the losing effort, they were led by Kyla Irby, who finished with 16 points off the bench here today, while Olivia Majors, Katie McCrary each finished with 11 points. Katie McCrary also with 11 assists and 3 steals here today for Otterbein. With the loss, the Cardinals will drop to 4-9 on the season. Otterbein's next matchup will be at Marietta this upcoming Wednesday. And for your Purple Raiders, they're back on their winning ways. They improved to 6-7 on the season, 3-3 in OAC play, snapping that 5-game skid. They will face off against their rivals, the John Carroll Blue Streaks, on this upcoming Wednesday. We are very excited to be on the broadcast for that matchup here with you all. But a great game here today. Mount Union comes away victorious, 79-69. My name is Jacob Attar, signing off here from the MAC, and as always, it's a great day to be a Purple Raider.